So,
that was when I was discharged at the Christmas.
Yeah.
From the RAF.
In Christmas 42.
Yes, 42. Because I was married. Yes, because I was married while I was in the WAAFs.
Yeah.
I first went to, as I said, Gloucester to get kitted out. Then we were sent to Morecambe to do our training.
Yeah.
And then after that I was just sent to Bournemouth.
Yeah.
With the Canadians. Stayed there for a few months, and then we were sent to Brighton.
Right.
With the Australians.
Right.
And I was a stencil typist then, because they ask you when they interview you,
Yeah.
what are you doing, you see.
Yeah.
So as I was in an office, naturally they wanted me to do the same sort of thing in the WAAFs.
Yeah, yeah.
I would have liked to have learned to drive, really, because that would have got over I would have had to do it, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Would have got over my fear.
When they provide the training for that kind of thing.
That's right. But, so that, and then I was discharged from Brighton, so it was not exciting at all.
Yeah, yeah.
The Maoris were there, you know, so we had the concerts and dances.
Yeah.
Naturally.
So how does that work? That they had like different nationalities in different towns. You know, you said that Australians were in Brighton. Is that they just use that as a base for the Australian Air Force?
Because I worked in the. I think they were all waiting to be sent somewhere abroad. You see, and I was doing officers' records, stenciling them.
Right.
Had to be run off, and it was in the hotel I worked that Maggie Thatcher was in. You know, it was bombed.
Yeah, the Grand Hotel. That's
Well,
where you worked?
I worked in that one, and our hotel where I lived was just a few doors down the road, another hotel, small one.
Yeah, yeah. So when you were working there, was there any flying nearby, or is it just like an administrative base?
Just administrative.
Oh.
That's all.
And did they clear the people out of the town then?
No.
So it's a normal town?
Normal town. Because I used to get the station from Brighton to... gosh, was it Victoria?
Yeah.
Because Grandad was still at Uxbridge, and he used to come up and meet me, and then he used to take me back when I went on Sunday night.
So you'd stay there during the week in Brighton?
Mm.
And they'd put you up in a hotel?
Off. Sometimes you have to stay there, you know. You have to,
yeah. Yeah.
You get... you work so many weeks, and then you have to have a week on duty, as they call it, not doing anything, but you're there, you know. Yeah.
So did you live in Brighton then and go home for the weekend, or?
At the hotel, yes, all week, and then I used to go home on Friday night.
And was it run like a hotel, or was it like a sort of WAAF thing?
Well, I think it was more like a WAAF, not like a hotel.
Yeah, yeah.
It was Hockley's Hotel, but it wasn't really.
They just used the building?
Yeah, just used the building.
So you had what sort of WAAF rations
5 inches,
there?
you know, water in all the bars were painted. We had 3 in our room, and you have to make your bed every day. And
yeah. Well, the water line was painted
on the bath.
So you couldn't put more water in.
No, the 5 inches, I think it was, because the showers weren't even conceived then, were they?
So you had to fill the water up to the line that was painted on.
Yes.
And just going back, just because it's interesting, because I don't know how.
You're just bringing it back to me because I can't.
Yeah, no, it's
yes.
just to just to sort of follow the story.
Mm.
Grandad went into the RAF,
yes.
and you were in you were in Kensington initially, yes. for 3 years.
That's right.
And so did you meet Grandad at the weekends then, because he was in?
Well, he was working. No, he used
just
to
all over
cycle
the place?
over at night. Used to see him most days.
Oh, okay. Because you were living in Ealing, and he was living in
Greenford.
Right.
And he was.
Well, with his mum and dad?
His dad died while I was going with him. He was over with me one night, and his uncle came and a friend to say that his dad had died at work at 40. I think it was just 42 or 47. I can't remember.
Yeah.
He'd had a heart attack.
Oh.
And Eric remembered the night before, the day before, that he'd got pains in his shoulder.
And this was Alexander Mossy.
So, and he collapsed in the lavatory, I think, on the cloakroom at work. I think he worked too. Oh God, where did he work now? No good me trying to remember that.
Yeah, I can't remember what he did.
I think he was some sort of an engineer.
Yeah.
No, it won't come to me. Quite local, really. I think Paddington area. Westbourne Park, was it?
Okay.
I think that's where he worked.
Oh.
To do with the railways.
Yeah, yeah. And then you went to Gloucester initially.
Initially got called out, had to go kitted out somewhere in Gloucester. Innsworth, I think it was Innsworth.
Okay.
I can't even remember the name.
That rings a bell. I think we've driven past that.
Not far away, anyway.
Yeah, yeah. And what was your rank? I don't know the terminology.
Just an ordinary leading, is it leading aircraft woman? Something like that, just no rank.
Yeah.
Just the lowest of the low.
And did they train you for a particular...
just for marching. That's all we had to learn, marching. And the first day we were there, I just don't know how it was, or whether we were just sent round to the commands that we were with. But Vera Lynn was on at the theatre.
Oh, okay.
So we all went along there. You soon make friends with people, don't you?
Yeah. How did it feel going to... were you in Gloucester for long?
No. Was it a week? I don't know, it was just about
just
a week to get kitted out. And haversack, kit bag.
Did it feel odd? Because you left home.
Especially living in the Nissen hut with all these other girls just for a week.
Yeah.
Got used to it though.
Would you have stayed with these girls?
No.
Or it's just you just kind of...
Don't really know them. Don't think I went with any of them again.
Yeah.
They were all doing different things. Some were cooking, some were... I don't know what they were doing.
But it was just like a sort of an orientation week. It was just to get your
all assembled,
kit.
yes, kitted out.
And so did you get your uniform on the first day then, or?
Do you know, I can't remember that. Must have done.
Yeah.
Must have done.
And you did some marching.
And when we got to Morecambe, yes. Right. And we had passing out parade. We learned how.
What, at the end of the week?
I think we were at Morecambe a month.
Okay, so you went from Gloucester
for a week
to Morecambe. And what was that a different bunch of girls then?
Oh, I think so, yes. It was only when I got to Brighton that I was in with Anne Dolby and Georgina that her husband was in Tamir. That's how we got friendly. Then I got friendly with the girl she was in the office.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she recommended a place in Torquay to have a honeymoon. That Grandad and I went honeymoon to Torquay.
Yeah. So you went to Morecambe, but that was for a month?
Yes.
And was that more marching?
Just marching.
Any other training? Or?
No other training, no, just marching.
And how do they know what you can do? Do you have to tell them, or do they give you a test?
We had interviews, and that's what they wanted to know what I was doing.
Yeah. In
private, in private life.
What did you do the rest of the time then?
Pardon?
What did you do the rest of the time?
God,
to just...
I don't know,
do what
I know, it was blackout, and this house we stayed in was just gloomy.
Yeah.
Do you know, and I can't remember the meals. I know someone had gone through my case and took a collar. So that must have been one of the girls that were there. I can't remember those at all.
And this was... So you were staying in a house in Morecambe rather than in this house?
Right. I expect the woman was paid, you see, to have us there.
Right.
I don't remember making friends there at all. Wasn't it fun? You people, you do, don't you?
Yeah.
But we did as soon as we got to Brighton, I did.
So at the end of the Morecambe month,
we were all
you were told
to go. We all had to go and not get to Bournemouth.
right. And when you had did you say you had a passing out parade or something?
Yes.
Was that in Morecambe?
That was in Morecambe.
Did your parents come to that, or it's just for you?
Just for the us WAAFs.
And then then basically they tell you where you're going
That's
next.
right. That was. I can't remember how I was told or anything like that.
Were you the only one to go to Brighton? Do you think, or
I don't
from
think
that
so.
one?
I think like a group of us must have gone.
Okay.
But I can't remember that.
Yeah, yeah.